What's up everyone, Tom from the Airsoft headquarters here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at my top 3 suggestions when it comes to Airsoft PDWs and what I personally like. Now this is going to be some of my personal picks based on my experience and my knowledge of the Airsoft manufacturing industry, as well as what my preferences are with different platforms. So we're going to get into it. Now, there are going to be a ton of awesome selections available on the Airsoft market, both here in the US as well as overseas with those different continents. Now, I'm going to be taking a look at all of them, and I've challenged myself of picking only my top 3 from 3 different manufacturers. So that means I do need to pick between my Avalons. And that's not going to be an easy pick. So what sparked this video was working down at the Airsoft arena last weekend, covering as the general manager for the weekend. Now, what I normally do is I'll normally take inventory as to the types of rifle systems or the category of weapons that Airsoft players will be utilizing, kind of getting a reading as to what the local Airsoft community is utilizing, what's popular, what accessories I'll need to carry in, stuff like that. But one of the things that I noticed a lot was that a lot of people were utilizing the PDW type of rifle systems. Now those are going to be smaller, compact, versatile, very mobile, and generally are going to take pistol style of caliber magazines. Now that being said, there were a couple of rifle systems that were utilizing M4 magazines. And obviously some people were utilizing the longer length of rifle systems using AKs, pistols only, stuff like that. So one of the things we note as well is that we are also selling a lot of the ARP9s, Nemesis 9, the calibers, the MP5s down at the Airsoft arena as well. So we know that those are becoming very popular. Another one of the things that I will be taking in consideration is some of the rifle systems like the caliber that generally perform very well, surprisingly well, even out at distances that normally it shouldn't due to that shorter barrel size. So that definitely is going to have some sway. I'm generally going to be looking at functionality instead of unique or stylized platforms. So that being said, my very first one and the quickest decision to make my top 3 is going to be the G&G PCC9. Now the PCC9 stands for the Pistol Caliber Carbine 9mm, and so that is this guy right here. For the base construction, it is going to be an ARP9 internally and based on the lower receiver, and I guess upper receiver as well. The changes that have been made to the PCC9 is a extra 2 inches to the barrel length, as well as utilizing a crane stock. Now for me personally, I prefer having the option of being able to extend that inner barrel, just allowing more consistency and more accuracy out at greater distances. Having a longer barrel length, even if it's an extra inch or 2, can make the difference of hitting an elbow sticking out from a corner within 1 shot or 2 shots. That's the difference that I take or have noticed when playing indoors. One of the other things is utilizing the crane stock. Now the crane stock I like because it is fairly adjustable. I do generally run my stuff in a little shorter and more compact, but I personally like the height of the crane stock and what they offer. One of the bonuses as well is that they have all that extra battery storage space in order to run lithium-ion batteries specifically. So being the PCC9, this does have an ETU MOSFET system. So if I wanted to run a 11.1 lithium ion, I do have the option to do that. Running a lithium ion just allows me to run a battery with significantly more stored energy compared to your standard LiPo or a standard nickel metal hydride, and still get a very fast trigger response, faster rate of fire, just overall significantly more beneficial. In my experience, if I wanted to travel to a different field outside of a state, so I'll take 1, maybe 2 lithium ions with me, I'll charge them beforehand, get to the field, and I'll have enough stored energy to play an entire weekend without having to recharge that battery, which is super beneficial when it comes to a more minimalist play platform, as well as just minimizing the amount of stuff I have to pack. So that is one advantage right there. So for that is why I picked the PCC9. Not only that, it's just a ARP9 that has a couple extra features, and the ARP9s, a lot of people are recommending them as a starting platform just due to having a higher performance directly out of the box. So a lot of people are picking up the ARP9s. So if they like the option of slightly longer barrel and a crane stock, these are definitely an option that should be considered. So my second option is from the KWA category, and that is a little bit harder of a decision. Initially, I wanted to go with the Ronin 47 because I like that the best. I do have several other KWA rifles. If you guys know the channel well enough, you do know I do like my KWAs a lot. So I have the Ronin 47, the T10, the SR10, and the LM4 down to the bottom right. Now, it was a toss-up. I was gonna go with the Ronin 47. However, since the video was based on the best SMGs and from KWA, I am going to have to give it to the T6. Now, internally, the Ronin 47 and the T6 are going to be the exact same, where they do have an adjustable velocity of spring guide rod that allows you to have one set spring, but you can fluctuate that spring tension to change the spring velocity, which means you can have one spring for both indoor and outdoor, which allows you to have one platform to range between multiple environments and allows you to perform, or have the rifle perform, at its highest potential. Pretty sweet. Now, I went with the T6 specifically because it takes M4 magazines versus my Ronin 47 only takes the proprietary Ronin 47 mid-cap magazines. T6, because it's an M4 magazine, has the M4 mid-caps. You can run the PTS EPMs or EPM1s, or if you like drum magazines are an option as well. The cool KWA crane stock, which I like, and is also on the Ronin 47. You literally just pull it out to the length that you want, and then you're ready to go. A solid full metal receiver from KWA. I atone these gearboxes as well as these receivers as being bulletproof. I don't see a whole lot of these cracking or breaking, like ever. Really, like ever. So they really are built to handle. I actually think it'd be pretty funny to do a video shooting these with a couple calibers, you know, demo ranch style, but not for this one. So being that it is full metal, a small PDW profile, having the adjustable velocity of gearbox, this also gives you a really good trigger response and really good performance while having such a small barrel system. Plus, it does come with that anodized orange flash hider, which does look really cool, but KWA also makes it very easy to remove that and change it out with a integrated suppressor or tracer unit, kind of like what I've got on my Ronin 47. So overall, number 2, it was a toss-up between this guy, the T6, or the Ronin 47. So that's what we got. So before we make it to my absolute final suggestion, it was a really hard toss-up. There were a lot of excellent PDW and SMG base of platforms available on the market. It was a very hard decision, and I did toil and think a lot over all of the options and looking at all of the possibilities. And unfortunately, this is going to be more of a subjective base of video, but I did my best to make it challenging in order to give you some type of content. I really toiled really hard over this last one. Because these are coming from Elite Force, which featured the Avalon gearbox series, and you know I love my Avalon rifles. That being said, it was really hard to settle on one single Avalon rifle. I mean, it was so difficult. Man, I was pacing back and forth up in front. I mean, I was just bothering everyone, looking at all the Avalon rifles, just bringing them up and thinking about them and discussing different points with Brady, and I was bugging the shit out of him. But I came to a final decision. It was not easy, let me tell you. That final decision was the hardest decision I've probably had to make in a long time. But I'm gonna stand by it. I'm gonna let you guys know that my final decision of the third best PDW in the airsoft market from Avalon is the MP5. Now, the MP5, I didn't pick it just for its iconic nature. It has the Avalon gearbox inside of here, but there is one additional feature that does make it stand out further compared to all of the other Avalon rifles that are available on the market. You see the stock here? The stock comes off. Underneath the stock is 1 screw, 2 screw. Remove those screws that hold the gearbox to the lower and upper receiver, slide those away, make sure to hold the upper and lower together, and you have access to that AEG spring. It is a quick change spring system that you do not have to get away from the lower receiver in order to get access to. Literally every other Avalon, you have to completely disassemble the gearbox away from the lower receiver just so you can have access to that AEG spring. It is a long and annoying process, and I wish that Avalon would figure out some type of way to make it easier to get to that internal spring. So that is why the MP5 does get that edge. However, we are going to talk about it. While I do have the stock off, one of the things that I did to my MP5 was I did change how I get access to the battery storage compartment space. Because technically, in order to get to that battery space and change the battery, you are technically supposed to remove the stock entirely. However, you did see that I was having a little bit of an issue getting that wiring system to sit nicely, and having to do that on the field, something like that, it will be very, very cumbersome. So I did a no-no, and I broke the butt plate of the stock completely off, which does give me immediate access to that battery storage compartment space, which is huge, first of all, which is personally why I went with this MP5 and not that PDW one, the one with the collapsing stock. I can fit lithium ion batteries inside of here. Much, 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 much better compared to one of those small PDW Crane 500 milliamp hour LiPos. But because I did break that, I do need to tape the shit out of this butt plate to make sure it doesn't fall off while I'm running around. That is a fairly easy fix, especially with lithium ions, being that I need to just plug it in at the very beginning of the day, and I don't need to worry about it. Very easy to really wrap it with tape and don't worry about it until the end of the day. Very easy. Mid-cap magazines always. There are drum magazines available for this. Also, it does take the Midwest Industries rail system. Very cool, very tactical. Like that modularity option where I can put vertical grip, flashlight, laser system, my zoom camera. I am trying to get the 3-lug suppressor. I know that there is a threaded barrel option in order to get a flat threaded option. I do want that more traditional look of a 3-lug suppressor look to it. And that is what I have here. I do have the gate aster inside of this, so it kind of performs better. Not really. I mean, the aster helps as far as recognizing how many shots I've put into it, average temperatures, performance-based stuff, yada yada yada. But really, that's really it. On this MP5 specifically, I did not build it out to be super high speed, DSG, anything like that. So it is going to be more of a standard performing type of rifle system, but it is the Avalon and it does perform phenomenal directly out of the box. I took this stock to Kalamazoo in Michigan, which have closed by now, and it absolutely wrecked the day that I did take it and played with it there. I mean, I was destroying left and right without having to change or modify any of the aspects of the rifle. Just pulled it out, threw an optic on there, didn't even change the handguard out to the Midwest Industries, so I didn't even have a vertical grip or a flashlight. Nothing. Just had an optic, a lithium ion, and I fucking slapped the shit out of them. Sorry, didn't mean to swear. It was really, really cool, and unfortunately didn't have my cameras with me, so I wasn't able to capture the day. So I really like the Avalon MP5 due to having the Avalon gearbox and performing phenomenally directly out of the box. So that is my third and final decision. To recap, the PCC9 from G&G. You're gonna stay flat? Nope. The KWA Ronin T6. Are you going to lay flat? Yes. And the Elite Force Avalon MP5. All three are going to be my final suggestions when it comes to PDWs on the airsoft market that you should consider looking at. I hope this may have been eye-opening or informative for some people that may be looking at some answers or maybe one of the three options here, kind of debating over what one may be a little bit better. If you do have any further questions about any of these specifically or any other options available on the market, feel free to put them down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. And with that, we're all done here. So hopefully this was eye-opening to you guys. Maybe we'll do something with Brady and get his 3 PDW selections. Essentially, I was bothering him. We did have some discussions as to what he would choose. So I think that may be something you guys are interested in. And with that, we're all done here. So you guys take care, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.